basically, we had these founders come out. Ethan Brown founded Beyond Meat in 2009, Pat Brown in 2011 with Impossible Foods, and they made these really big promises. Ethan Brown talked about basically copying the structure of meat, but doing it with parts that he extracted from plants. Pat Brown talked about heme, which is found in large concentrations in red meat, and he was going to make it with a genetically modified yeast and soy, and it would be soy like hemoglobin, what he called his magic ingredient, and this was going to give his burgers this meaty taste. And both companies promised to basically upend, Impossible really went out and said they were going to upend animal agriculture. Ethan Brown's promises were more along the lines of saving the world from health and environmental disasters.
Small promises.
Yeah, just little things. And that they were going to create products that were so identical to the meat that people love that people would just swap them in and sidestep the animal. It really hasn't worked out that way.
I personally find these conversations fascinating. There's a lot of hate right now for plant-based meat in the media, especially over the last couple of years. But it's interesting because a lot of these stories are really directed at Impossible Foods and Beyond Burger. So it seems to me the actual story is more one of big promises and then companies who stopped innovating. So we've had this massive wave of plant-based companies, and they kind of were built, and then they kept their recipe, and then they stopped innovating, and they stopped changing. It's kind of like Toyota in 1997. They introduced the Prius. I actually thought Toyota was going to become the world's largest electric vehicle maker, but Tesla has since taken that crown because they went all in on the new technology. Toyota, I thought, was going to become the next electric vehicle maker because they were the first ones to put batteries in their cars. We had GM, of course, but they killed their program. Toyota was kind of the next runner-up. In my mind, they created the Prius. It was a super popular car. Everyone was super excited about it.
It uses both a conventional internal combustion engine and an electric motor to provide the optimum fuel economy and extremely low emissions. Prius is a sleek 5-seater saloon powered by the innovative Toyota Hybrid System, or THS. Now this allows Prius to return roughly double the fuel economy of a similarly sized and engined lower medium sector passenger car, while harmful emissions are cut to about 1/10 of the amounts set by current regulations.
We had this hype cycle, and then it came back down to reality, and we realized that, they've now found their money printer. They're not actually going to disrupt themselves. They're not going to continue innovating. Tesla then came, actually built cars with batteries in them, and now they have the best vehicles in the world. So I think we're actually seeing a very similar thing start to happen in the plant-based meat category, which is really a broader category of alternate proteins. So, is plant-based meat dead? No, far from it. Plant-based meat is continuing to evolve and get better, and we're getting new things that are coming onto the market. So, the poster child again is Beyond Meat. They're a plant-based product. Then we have new plant-based products, which are either just companies innovating on better textures, better flavors, better tastes, or using new manufacturing methods like precision fermentation. So Chunk Foods would be an example of that. They are the world's first precision fermentation steak. So precision fermentation is just making the same molecules that you would find in a plant or an animal, the same proteins, just instead of taking them from that plant or animal, you ferment the proteins. So Chunk Foods is using precision fermentation wheat and soy. Then you have the hybrids. So hybrids would be like a mix between plants and meat products. So Impossible Foods, again, would be the poster child for this. They're really the first ones to use the heme protein. Again, they use precision fermentation to make that heme protein. A lot of people say that that's a plant-based burger. You have a range. So Impossible Burger would be more on the plant-based side. And then you have companies like Ohio Valley. So they're making cultivated meat, but when you look at their actual recipe, really it's like 90% plant-based and 10% cultivated meat, or even 99% plant-based and 10% cultivated meat.
We produce cultivated meat products by developing a plant-based meat product and then cultivating cells with cell culture technology and adding those cells to the plant-based meat product.
Then you have more on the meat side would be Believer Meats. So as we saw in the video yesterday, they're using a mix of cultivated chicken fat and soy protein. Then you would have Good Meat, which I tried in a video. And again, they're more on the meat side, but still technically a hybrid. And they would be 70% cultivated chicken, so fat and muscle cells, and then 30% plant-based proteins. Then you have the meats. So this would be cultivated meats, and that would be companies like Upside Foods who use 99 to 100% cultivated meat. There's a farm in Rochester, New York called Leep Foods. They are taking mushrooms and mixing them with beef to make burgers and sausages. Plant-based meat, I think, is just getting started. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.